All right, so here is when you should be applying for internships. So this is going to be the CES internship timeline explained. So the real question is, when do you actually apply for internships? Because I'll be honest, so when I was first starting out, no one had told me when to exactly apply. And so this is going to be for those of you who are in the same position as me right now. So in high school, during my final year, like no one sat me down and said, okay, here's how university works. Here's when you apply for internships. Here's when you apply for universities, internships, all that, right? And then here's how you stay ahead. Like no one told me that. And, part of it is just reality. It's like, yeah, I didn't have anyone to do that for me. But right after you watch this video, you'll know exactly what to do and when to do it. So, yeah. So here's how you will get ahead. So I just Googled what universities were still taking applications and just applied to those. And same thing happened when it came to internships. So I wasn't always this strategic about getting experience or staying ahead of the timeline. I know I didn't know, what I didn't know, right? With enough struggle, I was able to land those multiple internships, including Verizon and Apple. And, in the previous video, I talk about, how I did it, like exactly step by step. But luckily for you, you won't have this issue after watching this and looking through all the resources in the description. But first, I would highly recommend that you watch this and then go down below. So my freshman year, so when I started university for computer science, I didn't even think about internships because I honestly didn't even know that they existed, I'll be honest. And I didn't take it seriously either. I was like, yeah, I'll get around to it during my freshman year. So I wasn't focused on improving my resume or building projects or networking or understanding recruiting timelines. Like that stuff was not interesting to me. I didn't make it important, and no one told me when to start or how to start, so I just didn't. And then summer came, so I was about to start sophomore year, and that's when it clicked. I saw everyone around me getting internships, literally posting on LinkedIn. They're like, "Oh, I'm so excited to announce I got JP Morgan or I got Amazon or something like that." I was like, "Okay, I probably need one too," but you see it's too late. I can't get into JP Morgan or Amazon or anything, right? Like it was too late. So I started Googling, watching YouTube, reading Reddit, and everyone just kept saying, you need prior experience, you need projects, you need skills. But what does that actually mean? Like, I didn't know. So here's what you actually need before applying. So you cannot go into an internship expecting to learn everything from scratch. That's literally not how it works. You need some base level of competence. Like you don't need to be, senior level engineer, but you need some sort of understanding. So you need solid understanding of data structures and algorithms, some coding experience, and at least 1 to 2 real projects. And then on top of that, basic problem solving ability. So you need some form of experience, even if it's not from a real job or another internship, right? And if you don't know how to do that, again, previous video, I talk about how I did it from having no internship experience at all. So once you have that foundation, you can either watch that video right now or you can watch it after, up to you. But once you have that foundation, then you're ready to apply. So if you're watching this, you probably have some level of understanding. So a quick note before we do get into it, you will never feel ready to apply, but apply anyway. And this is like the biggest blocker for a lot of people is they just don't think that they'll get the opportunity or they'll even get the interview. But I've seen people who, don't seem like who will get it, but they end up getting an interview or even the offer because they just took that shot. And again, it literally costs nothing to take that shot. It's just, feeling a rejection for 10 seconds if you get that rejection email. But yeah, let's talk about the timing. So when do internships actually open? So the full recruiting timeline. So internships technically open all year, but the timing depends on the cycle that you're targeting. Most companies focus heavily on summer internship, so that's really what we'll prioritize here. So summer internships are the most competitive, and if you want high tier internships, especially in big tech like Amazon, Apple, Google, Netflix, applications typically start August to September. sometimes even earlier for big tech, and then a bit later. So the interviews will typically begin around October to December, and then offers get extended in between November to January, just depending on what company you're applying to. And then the internship itself will run from like May to July, and sometimes it might bleed into August as well. So yeah, you read that correctly. You have to apply almost a year before the internship even starts. Like, you're applying in August, right? And that internship is for May. Like, you're basically applying like almost a year before. So, for example, say you wanted a summer 2027 internship, you have to apply in August of 2026. This is where most students will fall behind because they wait until the spring or the last second. By then, many of the big companies are done hiring. And I know this because I was literally one of those students. I had waited until the last second. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like swoop in and get Google or Apple. But that's not how it works. I had to have applied way before. And then fall internships. So again, if you are just wanting summer internships, you can skip throughout the video, but this is going to be for fall internships. It's good to know. So fall internships run between August and December. So typically, applications will open from April to May, sometimes earlier, and then interviews will happen late spring to early summer. And then the internship actually runs again from August to December. And these are less common than summer ones, but still valuable, honestly. An internship is an internship at this market. If you can afford to take a gap semester, I highly recommend you do it and you do the internship because, again, bro, like you're graduating to get a job, but if you don't have prior experience, like it's gonna be harder to get a job. Like, I guarantee you, like I give you my word, if you did an internship, you're more likely to get a job versus a person who has never done an internship. Like, no matter what company you did it, because you have stuff to talk about and you can really, like spin off a lot of stories and answer those scenario based questions. Again, it's just common sense, but I'm just telling you how it is. And then number three is spring internships. So spring internships usually open from September to November. The interviews happen in late fall, and the internship will run from January to March or April. And these are even less common, but still exist. Again, especially at mid-sized or growing companies, like they have a lot of ones open. But again, you have to take that gap semester to do one. So again, play your cards right. Whatever you think is the best thing at that point for you. But what if you missed August? So let's say it's already November or January or even March, right? And you want an internship. Well, you can still apply. Most students I know just give up after missing the deadline. So say like you watch this and you're like, oh man, it's not even August right now. It's like January or March or February or whatever. And you're like, oh man, I'm not gonna get anything. So you can still apply. Most students I know will literally give up, right? But you can still apply, and companies continue posting roles throughout the year. Smaller companies and local companies especially often hire later, sometimes as late as March or April. Or I know like some small companies who even hire in May, like a week or 2 weeks before the actual hire date because they move so quick. And it might not be FAANG level brand names, but your first internship should be about experience. It shouldn't be about prestige. An internship is I'm gonna repeat it again. An internship is an internship in this market. I know you guys all know how bad the market is right now. So in this market, I highly recommend your first one builds leverage. That's what matters. You don't need to focus on prestige right now if it's your first one. And here's what I personally did, okay? So I will kind of go through my timeline and here's what I did, and maybe you can replicate some of it as well. So freshman year, I did not focus on internships at all. So if you're watching this right now as a freshman, you're further ahead than me already. Then freshman year summer, I started grinding courses and certificates to really build those skills. So I did a lot of Coursera, Codecademy. I did some random certificates. I did like 4-H and like stuff that I talk about. So I did all of those. And then sophomore year rolled around, August, I started applying for the following summer. And then I landed my internship at Verizon in the next cycle. So I didn't get one in my first year because I didn't prepare early enough. But once I understood this timeline that I literally just told you guys, everything changed. I hope that it's clicking for you guys as well right now. So here's what you should do right now. So these are like actionable steps that you can follow if you've made it this far. Um, and this advice is literally timeless. So the recruiting cycle barely changes year to year. Even with the hiring freezes here and there, the recruiting cycle usually stays the same from year to year. So here's what your move is. First, you look at the current month. Okay, identify like which month we're in, and then you want to identify which internship cycle is next. Not the current one, but the next one. So say you're in August, you know that okay, the summer one is coming up, or the spring one is coming up, right? And then ask yourself, do I have these? Do I have the base skills yet? Do you know data structures and algorithms? You know, even a basic level understanding. Do you have a few projects you can talk about? Do you have some, you know, some off job or off internship experience that you can talk about, like clubs or like projects that you built, stuff like that? If not, then build the experience immediately using those, you know, courses, projects, programs, all of that. And then if yes, just start applying today. If it's August, you apply for the next summer. If it's October, you still apply. If it's January, you apply to whatever is open. There is going to be something open almost all the time. You just have to look for it. And where to actually find these internships, you can find them in GitHub. There's an internship list in GitHub. There's a Jobright AI master list, as well as they have a really nice UI as well. So I like that. And then also Handshake if you go to a university. So go through these weekly, apply consistently, and don't overthink it. Quality and volume both matter. People who say just volume matters or people who say just quality matters are both lying to you. I'm telling you, like a person who's been through it, both quality and volume matter here. And so I wasted my freshman year because I didn't understand the internship timeline at all. But you don't have to. You understand when internships open, what skills you need, when to prepare, and when to apply. You're already ahead of most students right now, so keep staying ahead, right? But other than that, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. If you want to see more guides like this, leave a comment on what you want to see more of, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you, and have a great day.